The Buffalo Bills' downfall needs to be studied. They just lost their wide receiver 1, their wide receiver 2, both their starting safeties, Tre'Davious White, and in the previous year, they lost Tremaine Edmonds. The Bills are cooked, dude. Whiny Stefon Diggs wanted another trade, didn't like his situation with his amazing quarterback, so he said, instead, I want to go to another amazing quarterback in CJ Stroud here. So he got traded away with a 5th and a 6th, I believe, and then also the Texans gave up a 2nd for him. So Stefon Diggs, a 5th and a 6th, and then the Texans gave up the 2nd. So I think it was a good trade for both sides because, of course, no one's going to trade away a first-round pick for a guy that's going to be problematic. He's 30 right now in Madden. He's super problematic for other teams whenever he doesn't get his way. Super whiny, but hey, he's not going to be whiny whenever he has CJ Stroud throwing to him. I don't know why he was whiny whenever he had Josh Allen throwing to him. And also, some people may be like, oh, well, Josh Allen was a great quarterback, yada, yada, yada. But they still traded him to an AFC team. So he's still going to have to face Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it to the Super Bowl. I think CJ Stroud will eventually win one. But this is still a really, really hard conference to win in. So I don't know what he expects to improve here from going from the Bills to the Texans offense, but great move for the Texans here. Tank Dell, Nico Collins, why does he not have star dev? If you want to cry in the comments, you can. I gave him star dev regardless. CJ Stroud, superstar dev. Joe Mixon, superstar dev. I don't really think he should have superstar dev anymore, but still, he's still a great player whenever he is healthy. And then for the offensive line, Kenyon Green, he's had injury problems, but he really hasn't been that great of a first-round pick. But they also have Shaq Mason. Kenyon Green, can I move him to left guard? He already is a left guard. Okay, I need to just officially make a left guard. For some reason, he refuses to move over to left guard. That's super annoying. Can Titus Howard just move over? I'm just going to move him to right tackle. I'm pretty sure Titus Howard has played offensive tackle before, so I still want Kenyon Green to develop. He's young. He has star dev. Still want him to do really good. So whenever this offensive line is healthy, it can be good, but Shaq Mason is getting old. Laremy Tunsil, I believe he is also pretty old. He's only 30, so in Madden, offensive lineman regression doesn't hit till I believe 32, and he's also 95 overall. So I'll be able to keep him for the remainder of the rebuild. Danielle Hunter, I'm going to move him down. I actually don't know if the Texans switched to a 3-4 instead of a 4-3, but it's my rebuild, so I'm going to keep it into a 4-3. Bingo, bango, bongo. The defense is adjusted. Christian Harris, very underrated in real life, along with Azeez Al-Shire. And then Jimmy Ward, Adrian Amos as a backup. I believe he was supposed to be a free agent, but it's fine. Desmond King, Derek Stingley, Jalen Petrie, of course, the new addition of Danielle Hunter. The Texans did amazing in this offseason, and also they had 2 second-round picks for trading away their first-round pick because they had a second-round pick, and then they traded back from their first-round pick is what I'm trying to say with the Vikings. And now I believe they had 2 second-round picks, so they just gave one of them up so that way they can get, of course, Stefon Diggs. So this Texans team is looking real scary, and we're going to see if we can win them a Super Bowl within the next 4 years. Very hard conference, once again. I always have to mention that. But for now, let's move into the draft. In the second round, I'm picking up a right tackle, Christian Jones out of Texas. Pass protector, normal dev for an offensive lineman isn't great, but he's 6'5", 323, 84 strength. Not crazy, but his skills do look really good. In the third round, getting center Cedric Van Pran out of Georgia, 6'4", 300 pounds, 88 strength, hidden dev, solid across the board for his skills. He's going to be our starting center because he does have a hidden dev. This is the team after the draft. It's going to move Van Pran up and Kenyon Green. And this team already looks like contenders in year number 1 with Stefon Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins. Team looks super sick. Defensively, looks like the AI picked up this guy named Murphy, Gabriel Murphy out of UCLA. 68 overall. Still, I guess he'll just fill in. The defense, it looks really filled in my opinion. I forgot they got Jeff Okudah. That was a nice signing. Specialist, Nico Collins. I'm going to put Tank down the slot since Nico is the number 2. Murphy's technically an edge, I guess. Everyone else here looks pretty good, but for now, let's see how we do at the midseason mark. 4-3, top of the division. My defensive passing game is ranked 31st in the league. I don't know if I believe that. Scouting national focus, I'm going to go with defensive tackle. Our interior defensive line, apart from Danico Autry, is pretty weak. For the players ready to negotiate, Nico Collins, he's young, he has star dev, he's been great in real life, he's going to re-sign. Desmond King, I'll keep him for another year. I don't know if he's a free agent in real life, I'm pretty sure he was, but if he's on the team now and he's asking for a contract now, I'll give him 1 more year. I'll re-sign him. CJ Henderson, not really interested in. He was a bust of a first-round pick. Kendrick Green, not Kenyon Green. I'm going to pass on him. Derek Barnett, he's 28, normal dev. Not really going to sign him. I remember whenever everyone thought Brevin Jordan was going to be like a beast because of his athleticism. He's been all right, I guess, but Everyone else, Jimmy Ward, he's going to regress pretty hard, so I'm going to wait to see if I want to sign him at the end of the year. And Derek Stingley, I'm not going to accept his option just because I want to give him a contract. Same thing with Kenyon Green. Kenyon Green, he hasn't really developed quite yet in real life, but in Madden, he's young. He has star dev. I want to give him a contract, and he's going to be a cheap contract as well. So for now, let's move into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, 12-5, top of the division. This seems like realistic to me, other than the Colts going 5-12, unless AR gets injured again. But injuries are off, beating the living piss out of the Steelers in Week 18, 41-7. Stats and awards: C.J. Stroud, top 3 QB in the NFL, amazing year, second best offense, 13th best defense. C.J. Stroud, 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, 118 pass rating. Amazing year for him. Joe Mixon, 17 touchdowns, 4.4 per carry, 1,300 yards is a great season. Stefon Diggs, 109 receptions, almost 1,400 yards, 5 touchdowns. Tank Dell, 11 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Nico Collins, almost 1,000 yards with 8 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz, 7 touchdowns, 800 yards with 81 receptions. Really nice ball distribution here. Christian Harris, 131 tackles for a loss, 17 for Tim Settle. Okay. Sacks, 14.5 for Danielle Hunter, 8.5 for Will Anderson, 4 for Danico Autry. Interceptions, 3 for Derek Stingley. Safeties on the team, 1 for Danielle Hunter. Defensive touchdowns is 0. Now let's see if Stefon Diggs can beat the Los Angeles Chargers in round 1 with the Texans in year number 1, and he does. 28-14, here to face the 12-5 Baltimore Ravens here in the divisional round. Let's see if C.J. Stroud can get his revenge on the Ravens in the divisional round back-to-back years. He does not. 24-10. Wasn't that almost the score in real life? I think the score in real life was like 31-10, but still, it was a great year, but we lose in the divisionals to the Ravens once again. Let's move into the offseason. And the Cowboys win in simulation. Wow, what a shocker. Osa Odigizua wins the Super Bowl MVP. Lamar Jackson wins the league MVP, and there are no awards here for the Texans. Actually, no, D'Amico Ryans wins Coach of the Year. That's actually surprising, considering we didn't even get home field advantage against the Ravens, but still. Wins Coach of the Year, that's nice. In the AFC South, nobody retires. It's funny how the AFC South went from being one of the most laughed at divisions to being one of like the most youngest, most look like future heavy divisions. By future heavy, I mean it's very young. You got CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, AR, Will Levis if he can develop. But either way, the division looks great, and for the upgrade, CJ Stroud gets Superstar X Factor. That's awesome to see. Upset that Tank Dell didn't get Superstar after having double-digit touchdowns in a 1,000-yard season, but Dalton Schultz did get Superstar Dev. The O-line is kind of shaping up here. I kind of want Jones over Titus Howard. I think I will do that for the next season. Hopefully he just develops a little bit. Christian Harris gets Superstar Dev. Danielle Hunter goes back to X Factor because he was in the previous Madden. I believe he may have been at the start of the year too. Derek Stingley gets Superstar Dev. Desmond King also gets Superstar Dev, so I'm glad I re-signed him. Then everyone else here, doesn't really matter. I guess Murphy just has Star Dev. Derek Stingley, I will not accept his option. Same thing with Kenyon Green. I would just rather just give them contracts than everyone else here. Not really that interested in, so I'm just going to move into free agency. After free agency, I got a bunch of one-year veteran fill-in players, so that way we can actually make a run, so that way you don't have to worry about developing certain players in certain areas. Grover Stewart, 1-year deal, defensive tackle. Xavier Howard, 1-year deal. Marquise Bell, 4-year deal, because I think he'll be a great depth linebacker with his age and development. Dicker, the kicker, on a long-term deal, and then we got Jerron Reed on a 1-year deal. I know I have upcoming contracts that I have to pay, so I want to keep these at 1-year deals so that way I don't get flooded and then go in negative cap, how I usually do in most of my rebuilds. So for now, let's move into the draft. In the first round, picking up strong safety Christian Barnett to replace Jimmy Ward. I forgot to sign one in free agency, but he only has normal dev, which sucks. Out of Florida, 6'2", 204. Still nice athleticism across the board. B hit power, A awareness is mainly why I took him, because I knew the A awareness was going to make him have a high overall. In the second round, with the Vikings second round pick, because again, we traded back with them last year from our first round pick. Felix Curtis out of Buffalo, 6'1", 180, hidden dev, 90 speed, 94 acceleration, A catching, B press, B man coverage, and B zone coverage. Man-to-man archetype, but he seems very balanced. And with our second round pick, I'm picking up defensive tackle Jalen Weldon out of Miami, 6'1", 300 pounds, hidden dev, 90 strength, is very good for a rookie, very athletic. He had elite speed, which is 78 for a defensive tackle, which is great. A finesse moves, B awareness, B play rec, and B tackle. And I can't believe I forgot to ask this earlier, but if you guys are new to the channel and you want to see a Buffalo Bills rebuild without Stefon Diggs, make sure you like and or subscribe. Let's see if we can get this video to 100 likes. I would appreciate that. But this is the team after the draft. I think I'm still going to start Jones here. Then the rest of the offense has been good since we started this rebuild. Don't really think I needed to improve. Weldon is a 75 overall. And where is Where's my other defensive tackle that I signed in free agency? I guess the AI just cut him without my approval. All right. I wanted him there as depth, but I guess not. Curtis is a 76 overall. I already have a lot of depth here. Jeff Okudah is going to be the number 5, surprisingly. Barnett is a 75. That's a good overall, but no dev really sucks. Then apart from that, team still looks pretty good. We have a lot of fill-in players for this second year, but that's fine. Don't have to worry about their contracts too much. And for now, let's move into the midseason mark. At the midseason mark, we are 6-1, top of the division. All my team ranks are within the top 10. That's amazing to see, coming off a win to the Raiders, 23-17. For the scouting national focus, I don't really know what I want here. I think I'm just going to do middle linebacker. For the players ready to negotiate, I have $135 million, not for long. Derek Stingley, he's going to get a bag. He resigns with the team. Danielle Hunter, of course, I want him back 3 years. He's 30. I mean, yeah, I think I want to keep him around for the rebuild if he keeps up his dev. Then Christian Harris, he doesn't want to be here. He wants to be historic champs. That could change this year, so I'm going to wait on that. I usually always see him in free agency and simulation. Stefon Diggs, I don't want to give a 31-year-old receiver a 3-year deal, so I want to see if that lowers in the offseason. Dalton Schultz, do I give him a 4-year deal? He's about to be 30. Let's do 3 on this. I mean, still, he's looking for longer. Either way, he would extend to the end of the rebuild. Joe Mixon, again, he's about to turn 30, but at the same time, it's like, I don't think I'm going to find a better running back throughout simulation, so I'm just going to re-sign him. Damian Pierce, he just wants to be top of the depth chart. That's not going to happen, so we can move on. Jalen Petrie, 4-year deal for him. He's going to re-sign as our long-term safety. Then anyone else? Desmond King, I'll do another year with you. I'll slowly work down your contract as you regress. He has superstar dev. Kenyon Green wanted to give you the contract a long time ago. 4-year deal, stupid cheap. That's why I wanted to re-sign you. And you have star dev. Jeff Okudah, I have a lot of depth there. Maybe at the end of the year. Grover Stewart, I don't think so. Azeez Al-Shire, already got Marquise Bell. Xavier Howard. Everyone else, I think I'll just deal with in the offseason, except for Tommy Townsend here. 4-year deal for him. He resigns. He's a punter, so he's going to last quite a while. CJ Stroud and Will Anderson, of course, I'm going to accept their 5th-year options. But for now, let's move into the playoffs. 14-3, top of the division, and coming off a win to the Niners, 30-27. We're having a lot of these one-score win games. Hopefully that prevails in the playoffs. Team ranks on the top 10. That's what I love to see here. And then CJ Stroud balling out once again, another top 3 QB season. Best offense in the NFL, 3rd best defense in the NFL. And then CJ Stroud, 4,600 yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 114 passer rating. Dak Prescott wins the league MVP. Sure, bud. But CJ Stroud wins 3rd for MVP. I guess doesn't win anything, but he's 3rd for MVP. Joe Mixon, almost 5 a carry, 18 touchdowns, 1,600 yards. Great season. That could be an X factor there. Stefon Diggs, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. Nico Collins, 14 touchdowns, 1,100 yards. Tank Dell, 900 yards, 4 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz, 5 touchdowns, 700 yards. Defensively, Marquise Bell, 129 tackles for a loss, 21 for Danielle Hunter, sacks, 13 for Will Anderson, 12.5 for Danielle Hunter. I believe Will Anderson should get superstar dev for that. Then 4 sacks for Grover Stewart, interceptions, 4 for Derek Stingley, safeties on the team, 2 for Danielle Hunter, and defensive touchdowns is 2 for Derek Stingley. They both went off there. So let's see who we're going to be playing in the divisional round, and I think we should easily have a shot here of winning the Super Bowl with our team ranks, how amazing our team is playing. But who are we going to be playing in the divisional? It's going to be the 11-6 Jacksonville Jaguars, a divisional rival, here against Trevor Lawrence. He's really good in simulation, and we beat him 34-24, here to face the 12-5 Kansas City Chiefs. I guess I don't have weekly training on auto, but I guess I'll fix that. Yeah, I misclicked whenever I went to go turn on weekly training to auto, so I'm just going to skip it for now. Anyways, let's play the Chiefs in the conference championship to see if we can move into the Super Bowl in year number 2. Here we are against the Chiefs. They're going to start out with nothing. We're going to start out with 3. They're going to respond with 7. The offense needs to put up more than 3. There we go. 17-2. Not 17-2. 17-7. 17-14 now. I almost said 17-2, but 17-24, 20-24, 31-22 score game, 1-score game. Don't choke this. They did choke it. You have the ball. Just run it out. Why did you punt and not let me hop in the game? It's 4th down. Of course they get it. 1 minute left. 3rd down alert. I finally get the ball. 3rd and 1. Why don't you just run out the ball, dude? I'll do it. 3rd and 1. I double team Chris Jones. I, for some reason, thought they weren't going to pick up that block. I literally specifically chose double team, and they were like, nah, let him go free. But anyways, we got it. 1st and 10. That should be the game, and that will be the game. And your Houston Texans are moving on to the Super Bowl to hopefully get their first ever Super Bowl win. And of course, we have to face the unbeatable Dak Prescott in the Super Bowl, who has won the league MVP, sure. For the team upgrades, Joe Mixon does get Superstar X Factor, and then Nico Collins does get Superstar Dev. That's awesome to see. The offense looks nuts. We have a 90 overall team. Defensively, Will Anderson Jr. does get Superstar Dev. Christian Harris gets X Factor. I usually see that a lot. Desmond King gets X Factor. That's crazy. Curtis has Superstar Dev as well. That's great for the team. Unfortunately, no upgrade for my strong safety, but we are in the Super Bowl, so that is what matters right now. Here we are against the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to start out with nothing. We're going to punt as well. 7-0 start for the Cowboys. 7-7 here in Atlanta. 14-7. Come on, please. 14-14 at halftime. We open up the half with 21. They're going to respond with 21 here. 28. 31-21. Good stuff. 2-score lead. We're going to hold on here just barely, not barely actually, 2-score game. 38-28 as the real Texas team, the Houston Texans, beats out your league MVP, Dak Prescott. Sure, bud. And we're going to win the Super Bowl in year number 2 with Stefon Diggs. Looks like CJ Stroud will probably get the league MVP after 268 yards, 3 touchdowns to no interceptions. Joe Mixon had a really nice game as well. And Stefon Diggs, 114 yards and a touchdown. Definitely showed up for the Super Bowl. I'm actually so hyped to see how good the Texans are going to be in this upcoming season for the 2024 season. I think they're going to be so good here as they win their first ever Super Bowl, and this was their first ever Super Bowl appearance as CJ Stroud wins the Super Bowl MVP. Dak Prescott wins league MVP. Sure, bud. Anyways, the Houston Texans are Super Bowl champions, but let's move into year number 3 and see if we can go back-to-back. In the AFC South, Danico Autry retires with a ring, Taylor Lewan and Brandon Scherf also retire. For the players ready to negotiate, CJ Stroud and Will Anderson, of course, I'm going to accept both of their options. Christian Harris does want to play with the team. I'm glad I held off. Why do you want to be paid like an edge rusher, dude? You're an 83 overall. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna wait until he hits free agency. Some people may say like, oh, you have the money, he's an X factor. He wants to be paid as an edge rusher. You're not getting paid $20 million a year. I don't know where you think that was a good idea. You should be getting paid around 12. You're an outside linebacker, and I can't even lower it to that far. He's not interested in signing. If I were to tag him, I'd pay him $24 million. I'm gonna let him hit free agency. I know it's like he's an X factor and I have money. I'm not paying you that much. I'm gonna see what he does in free agency and try to lower it in free agency. But it's crazy that he wants that much money. Stefon Diggs. 4-year deal, 3-year deal actually. Still, hopefully he retains for the rest of the rebuild, but he will regress. Dalton Schultz is slightly regressing now, but I'll do a 3-year deal with him. And he wants to play for a new team. I'm going to scoop him in free agency. Dameon Pierce now, Jeff Okudah. I wouldn't mind a 1-year deal. Actually, yeah, let's just go 2 years since he is young. He resigns on that. Anyone else here? John Mechie, I'm sorry you didn't really get a chance. Azeez Al-Shire's getting older. Grover Stewart, I wouldn't mind back for another year. And then, yeah. Anyone else? Xavier and Howard don't really want back. Everyone else here, not really interested in. Actually, Tommy Townsend didn't sign last time. Let's do a neutral deal. Then 4 years, dog. You're a punter. Okay, I was about to say, like, why are you arguing with a contract if you just won a Super Bowl as a punter? So Dalton Schultz and Christian Harris, I'm going to take a peek at them in free agency. After free agency, I got someone better than Dalton Schultz. 97 overall, superstar X Factor, Mark Andrews. Got Quincy Williams, who actually took an outside linebacker contract. Same thing with Nick Bitonio. Of course, Christian Harris walked, and some people are going to be like, oh my God, you had the money, yada, yada, yada. I'm not paying an outside coverage linebacker who's not rushing off my edge $20 million a year. No. Quincy Williams took $6 million a year. Nick Bitonio, I believe, took $4 million. Yeah, much more manageable, and I got a better tight end too. So it all worked out. In the first round, I'm picking up Brenton Van Buren out of Florida State. 6'2", 226, hidden dev, 89 speed, 89 acceleration, A awareness, B block shooting, A hit power, and B tackle. He looks great. In the second round, I'm picking up defensive tackle Tyler Forsett out of Louisville. 6'4", 400 pounds. Damn. Hidden dev, 94 strength. I would hope so at 400 pounds. A tackle, B power moves, A player. I've never seen a 400-pound player in Madden. That's crazy. And in the third round, Stanley Brewer, defensive back out of LSU, 6 foot, 93 speed, 90 acceleration. Hidden dev. I saw a B press. I know he has F hit power, but I saw a B press and I was like, good enough. It says man-to-man, so he has at least C man coverage there. Year number 3 with the Houston Texans. Let's see if we can go back-to-back here. Team looks crazy. So many X factors on the board, 4 of them, and then 1 superstar. O-line shaping up nicely. 89 overall team. Van Buren is a 75 overall. Looks like we got this guy named Brinkley as well. Looks like the AI cut one of my linebackers again, which I don't want them doing, but all right. Forsett is a 72 overall at 400 pounds which is crazy. And where's my star dev? I guess my star dev isn't here. DJ James at Auburn will cut you're only 171, pretty light, but we're going to cut that guy so that way I can have my star dev DB. Brewer, who's a 70 overall that I got in the late 3rd round, almost 4th round. So hopefully this team looks pretty good for now. I think it does look pretty good. Still just about the same as last year. 89 overall team. Easily could go back-to-back. Let's see how we do at the midseason mark. 1-6, bottom of the division. Thank you, EA. What a marvelous game. My defense just sucks now for no reason. What a great game, dude. Defensive player of the week, Derek Stingley, 11 tackles and 1 interception. I love this game so much. My defense suddenly sucks for no reason. No reason at all. I lost Aziz Al-Shire and a bunch of, like Xavier Howard. Wow, boo-hoo, dude. Scouting national focus, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here. My team is already so good, but it's not according to the AI. This is so, I hate this game so much. It's so frustrating. I'm just going to do outside linebacker, I guess. I lose Christian Harris, and the AI is like, your entire defense is shit without him. Breakout DB, let's see what we got here. Christian Barnett, that's the strong safety. Oh, technically he's a DB. Yeah, Vikk, no, whatever. Tank Dell, gonna start negotiations with him, 5-year deal. He resigns. And then Desmond King, he has X Factor, Lermy Tunsil. I mean, I guess we had our window. Grover Stewart, I'm not gonna resign. 6.3 million, I'm probably just gonna tag Tunsil for the final season, but for now, I want to see how we do in the next week and see if we can actually get this breakout dev. We actually beat the Commanders 38-20. Breakout player, please tell me you got it. I'm frustrated, man. I'm angry. I hold myself. Yeah, you better be angry. We're 2-6 team after winning the Super Bowl. Anyways, let's move into the playoffs. And we go 5-12, bottom of the division, and my defense is ranked 25th in the NFL. I lose Christian Harris, my team is shit. Oh, you should have re-signed Christian Harris. My team shouldn't go to shit after losing an 83 overall player. He had an X factor. I don't give a shit what he had. He was asking $20 million a year to be an 83 overall. CJ Stroud, easily a top 5 QB, 11th best offense, 28th defense. Why? CJ Stroud, 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 111 pass rating. Joe Mixon, 16 touchdowns, 4.2 per carry, 1,100 yards. Nico Collins, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Stefon Diggs, 7 touchdowns, almost 1,200 yards. Mark Andrews, 900 yards, 5 touchdowns. Tank Dell, 5 touchdowns, 600 yards. Defensively, let's see what's the problem. Desmond King, 100 tackles. Marquise Bell, 117 tackles for a loss. 15 for Will Anderson, sacks. 16.5 for Danielle Hunter. 12 for Will Anderson. 4.5 for Grover Stewart. Interceptions, a total of, what, 6, 7 across the entire team? Marquise Bell with 1. Safety, 0. Defensive touchdown, 0. So tell me, what is the problem with my defense? I had so many sacks, so many tackles. What the hell is the problem? Nothing. We're 5-12 for no reason. And the Falcons win their first ever Super Bowl, beating the Bengals here as Joe Burrow loses another one. Desmond Ridder, sure. Why he went back to the Falcons? He was in the Cardinals roster, hit free agency, and he went back to the Falcons and won a Super Bowl. All right. Anyways, Patrick Mahomes wins the league MVP. There are no awards here for the Texans. In the AFC South, Grover Stewart retires. For the adjust lineup, yes, this team right here. This is the team that just went 5-12. Thank you, EA. Marvelous. Marvelous upgrades here. Actually, offensively, Nico Collins gets X Factor. That's great. Defensively, anyone else? Forsett has Superstar Dev. That's awesome. Brewer has Star Dev. Brinkley and Van Buren has Star Dev as well. Barnett never got his upgrade, but it's fine. Anyways, let's see how we do for the re-signings. Players ready to negotiate. Desmond King and Lermy Tunsil. Lermy Tunsil wants $30 million. Damn. Chill out, dude. You're not even a 99 and you're regressing. Shaq Mason doesn't even want to be here anymore. So guess what we got to do? We got to do something called finesse that system. And that is whenever you just completely tank their contracts. He definitely doesn't deserve $30 million for 1 year. Oh, left tackle's the highest paid position. He's 33 and regressing, bro. I'm not paying him that. It's crazy what these dudes want. They're like, no. I want the highest offer. Screw that. We're going to make him want to take the franchise tag. We're going to take Desmond King, increase his bonus just by a little bit, just because he has the X Factor. Yes, I'm signing him just for the X Factor, unlike Christian Harris. Lermy Tunsil, I'm going to tag negative $17 million. Then we're going to lose a bunch of guys don't really care about. So apart from that, let's move into the draft. In the first round at pick 5, picking up a strong safety who's probably going to play depth because he won't have a higher overall than my current strong safety because I don't know what to do at pick number 5. I shouldn't have this pick. Marion Perryman out of LSU, 6'1", 211, 88 speed, 87 acceleration, hidden dev, B's across the board. In the second round, picking up a new right guard to replace Shaq Mason, Tawan Gaddis out of Oregon State, 6'3", 308, 86 strength, hidden dev, A's and B's across the board. In the third round, getting another defensive tackle because why not? The only thing I need for this team is for the AI to stop screwing me. Tavarius Randolph out of USC, 6'2", 290 pounds, Hidden dev, 87 strength, 85 acceleration is great. A hit power and A finesse moves. Here we are after the draft. The team still looks amazing. I'm sure the AI would beg to differ. Stefon Diggs is the second string now. Nico Collins is the one. Defensively, Randolph here is a 72 overall. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, even my first round pick is a 74 here. He's going to be a second string. Desmond King is an X factor. The AI is just like, we don't feel like, letting you win because we just don't give a shit about making a good game. This right here, team is apparently 5-12 worthy, all right? No injuries, didn't change any playbooks, 89 overall. But let's see, and let's play this game that EA calls Will You Suck for Absolutely No Reason? The answer is no. Why did my team suddenly get good again? My defense, #1 in the league, but my defensive rushing game is 21st. I don't know why. I have 3 great defensive tackles, but still, 12-5, top of the division, coming off a win to the Saints. Stats and awards here, let's see what we got. CJ Stroud, top 10 QB, not as good as last season, but still great. 15th best offense, second best defense here. 4,200 yards, 31 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 108 pass rating. I have no idea why my defense was just suddenly terrible last year. Joe Mixon, 10 touchdowns, 4.1 per carry, 1,100 yards. He's regressing, but still, it's a nice season. Tank Dell, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, then a really nice ball distribution across the board here. Defensively, Marquise Bell, 111 tackles for a loss. I was about to say 120. I mean 20 from Will Anderson. Sacks, 18 for Will Anderson, 11.5 from Danielle Hunter, 7 from Jalen Weldon. So it's going to be X factor for Will Anderson if he doesn't already have it. Jalen Petrie with 4 interceptions, safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns is 1 for Petrie and 1 for Crawford. Can we beat the Baltimore Ravens to move on to the divisional round, or they are kryptonite? They will be not our kryptonite here. Here to face the Buffalo Bills, Stefon Diggs' former team, to move on to the conference championship to potentially go to the Super Bowl, and we beat them 33-27. Of course, we have to face the Kansas City Chiefs, the hardest team in simulation, apart from the Cowboys, of course. But they're 93 overall. They could definitely beat us here, but let's see if we can beat them at their own home stadium. Will the Kansas City Chiefs get revenge on us? We're going to have a nice start. Early red zone touchdown, 14-7 here against the Chiefs. 21-7, 2-score lead, 1-score lead, and 2-score lead right before half. They're going to make it a 1-score lead right before half. What a back and forth there. 28-28 here. They're going to finally take the lead. 28-31, 35-31. Really tight game. 35-31. The Chiefs will not get their revenge on us in the conference championship as we beat them at home, and we're going back to the Super Bowl. CJ Stroud, 90% completion percentage and 4 touchdowns. Here we are in the Super Bowl, here to face the 10-7 San Francisco 49ers. For the team upgrades offensively, we look the exact same. My guard only has star dev. Anyone else here, don't even get to see my upgrades for my backup players. Then Will Anderson Jr. is a 99 overall X Factor with the boost. No other upgrades though, but we could go for another Super Bowl after our 5-12 season. I have no idea what that was. Here we are against the Niners. They still have Brandon Ayuk in this simulation, but we're going to start out 7-0, 7-7 now, 14-7 in the second quarter against the Niners. And 21-7. Will they tie it up? They won't tie it up. I don't know why I said tie it up, but either way, 28-7, 28-10, 3-score game here, 35-10. It's going to be another win for the Houston Texans as they win not back-to-back, but they win 2 Super Bowls in this simulation here. They are 2-time conference champions, and they are 2-time Super Bowl winners. 2 for 2 in the Super Bowl is what I'm trying to say as we beat the San Francisco 49ers here in the Super Bowl. CJ Stroud, 225 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's probably going to get another Super Bowl MVP. And CJ Stroud does acquire another Super Bowl MVP. Lamar Jackson wins another league MVP. Brandon Ayuk wins Offensive Player of the Year for the Niners, but doesn't quite do it in the Super Bowl. But anyways, guys, apart from that, Stefon Diggs and the Houston Texans, 2-time conference champions and 2-time Super Bowl champions as well, with CJ Stroud winning Super Bowl MVP in both of them. Finally, Stefon Diggs can stop whining. And apart from that, guys, I thank you guys all for watching. Let me know which rebuild you want next, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.